I'd like to talk to you for a minute today about two men who lived in Connecticut during the Revolutionary War era. Their names were the same, they lived in the same town, but their stories couldn't be any different. The town of Norwich in the colony of Connecticut was home to two men of the same name who made significant contributions to the Revolutionary War effort. One was the favorite son of a large, well-to-do, and influential family. That man is celebrated even today. The other was a slave. Limited in opportunities, his efforts have largely been forgotten. Samuel Huntington was born in Windham, now the town of Scotland, in 1731. Though lacking in formal education, he read law and qualified for the Connecticut bar in 1754. The other Samuel Huntington was born about 1747, probably in Norwich, and quite possibly in the household of Jabez Huntington, who was a cousin to the Windham Huntingtons. Samuel Huntington moved his residence and practice to Norwich about 1760, where he prospered, partially due to his own labor and character, and partially due to the influence of his Huntington cousins, who represented the wealth and power that were to be gained in Norwich. Samuel was enslaved by Jabez in 1775 when he accompanied Colonel Jedediah Huntington, son of Jabez, to reinforce Patriot troops who were bottling up the British Army in Boston. He served as a private until December of 1775, when the army was reorganized by George Washington. Samuel was then sent back home to Norwich. Samuel Huntington was appointed to the judicial bench, to the Connecticut Assembly, and from there was sent to Philadelphia, where he became president of the Second Continental Congress. Samuel next used his talents as a blacksmith to help build the U.S. frigate Confederacy in Norwich under the direction of Joshua Huntington, another of Jabez's sons. He was using the surname of Huntington. Samuel Huntington was a signer of the Declaration of Independence and later served as governor of the state of Connecticut until his death in 1796. Samuel was known as the Black Governor of Norwich, although his term of service cannot be verified. He was freed in 1787 and became head of his own household. He died in 1811. A bit about the history of these two men, according to the books. Frances Mainwaring Calkins wrote A History of Norwich, which was published in 1845, and she was talking about the Black governors of Norwich. And she says that after the death of this person, she had been talking about Boston Trow, Sam Hunton was annually elected to this mock dignity for a much greater number of years than his honorable namesake and master, Samuel Huntington, Esquire, filled the gubernatorial chair. There is, however, a problem with this. It's not true that Sam Huntington was ever enslaved by Governor Samuel Huntington. There is, in fact, no evidence that Governor Samuel Huntington ever owned a slave. Samuel was enslaved by and later emancipated by Jabez Huntington, not Samuel. When Governor Samuel Huntington died, there were multiple published tributes to him in the newspapers. This is one example of them, telling about what a great guy he was. This is the only known notice of the death of Samuel in 1811, Samuel, a Negro man. And this was recorded in someone's diary that became a part of the church records in Norwich. Governor Samuel Huntington and his wife, Martha, are interned in a well-maintained brick vault in Old Norwich Town Cemetery. Each 4th of July, a wreath is laid upon that grave. Samuel's burial place is unknown. Governor Samuel Huntington was a notable figure in American history. He earned that place through hard work, good character, and his family connections. While Black Governor Samuel Huntington did not play a role on the national stage, his efforts during the Revolutionary War should not be dismissed from that history. Thank you.